Welcome to this video. This is Justin, and I share contents about life here in South Korea. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you an update regarding my resignation from my work here in South Korea. So, I've been working in my company since 2024. Before I even graduated, I worked there as part-time employee. So, from January 2024, Feb, I was working there as part-timer, 20 hours a week. That was my schedule. After the 2 month part time, I decided to look for opportunities outside because I want to do a full time job. Since my graduation to February 2024, I am eligible now to start working. So I informed them that I'm looking for opportunities outside the company because I'm looking for a full time job. They came to a conclusion and decided to hire me as an intern. So that's the progress. It was like I was a part timer and then I started interning. The internship took 6 months. So from March, April, May, June, July, August, that was the internship period. September came. That's when I decided to ask them again, what's your plan? Do you want me to continue as an employee or the internship is finished? I cannot do the internship anymore. I'm deciding to look for a more full time job because the internship has finished. In South Korea, if you do internships, there should be a plan moving forward. It's not enough that you finish internship. So if they want to hire you, they can hire you. If they don't want to hire you, finish contract. That's the plan. So I want to know if they want to extend my contract and turn me into a full time employee, or I have the liberty to finish my internship and then move out. Fortunately, they decided to, okay, Justin, since you did good job handling of some of your projects, we decided to make you a full-time employee. When it comes to a full-time employee, it's more of the number of hours. In South Korea perspective, if you're a full-time employee, you work 40 hours a week. That's the minimum. If you work like at least 30 hours, that's part-time employment. That's not technically a full-time one. So for my case, I'm converted to full-time. But when they are deciding or sharing the information about what I will be in terms of am I regular or a contract based, that's when the problem arises. As a foreigner in South Korea, it's very difficult to find full-time regular employment that has no end. Technically, that's what it means, because the union power, the labor power in South Korea is quite strong. I think there were information in the internet about this, that if you are full-time regular employee in South Korea, it will be very difficult for the company to remove you, especially if even if you have been failing to perform your job. So, for my case, for our association, the practice has been you're a regular full-time employee, but you renew your contract every year. It sounds weird, but I agreed to that system because, sure, I mean, I have been getting more in terms of salary. I've been exploring more because of the business trips. So I took it. So from September 2024 until December 2025, that was the contract I signed for my second round. So technically, from part-timer, I became intern, and then now I started as a full-time contract-based employee, which was very fruitful because I did a lot of stuff. From the 2024 September until December of 2025, I went to Japan, I went to the United States, I've traveled to Norway. So a lot of business trips because the project I was handling back then, required me to travel and present because that was under the International Standards Organization. I mean, Organization for International Standardization. So that was the case. I was doing that and presenting and traveling and moving from one place to another, which something I really like because as a Filipino, a lot of these countries would require me to apply for visa. If I am applying for visa on my own, it's going to be very difficult. But since it's part of my company, it's a business trip. A lot of things are paid. Almost everything was no, everything was paid, so I didn't have to worry about that. And then things started to get very more intense. When I say intense, is that I was an intern few months before. But when I started working as a full time contract employee, technically I'm integrated to the system. I'm not an intern anymore. I had the responsibilities. I started getting more projects, getting more responsibilities, especially those that require English. Because I am the only foreigner. By the way, that's a fact. Another thing, I was the only foreigner working in my association. So they don't have any knowledge of how to manage a foreigner like me. Because a lot of their 99% of the employees Korean except me. So that was the case. I understand. I mean, no problem on that. However, my visa, which I currently have, is an F2 visa. That's one of the benefits for GKS, to be honest. If you're graduating from Global Career Scholarship Program, it's easier for you to be a short term resident in South Korea, the F2 visa. Anyways, I got the visa since 2024. It's expiring on the 2027, which is next year. Yeah, next year. So that was the thing I was contemplating about. If I continue this kind of contract base, yes, I'll be getting the salary requirement, but I'm not sure how it will turn out with the visa extension because some people said that the visa extension was based on your salary and based on your contract. So if your contract is renewing every year, instead of getting 3 years of you don't need to go back to the immigration, I would have to go back every year. Every time my contract is renewed, I'll have to go to the immigration for renewal. So that was the case. That's something that I don't want to do. However, I don't have any way out because my current company works every year you need to sign a contract. So I was already compensating and compromising. So I was thinking it's okay, at least I'm receiving money and I'm receiving salary. That was one. Since I got in the company, I really am very thankful for what they have done and helped for in terms of my career, in terms of my exposure. I really am very happy, very blessed. Because if I meet some of my friends and then I we share stories about our work, they would just simply say, Justin, I was so jealous of that. At least you can travel, at least you can go, blah blah blah. And to be honest, I am so freaking thankful for everything that I've got. Like this experience I got from my company, you will rarely find this in other companies in South Korea. I'm not sure abroad, in other parts of the world, but in South Korea, this is something that's difficult and different, because I'm a staff. Sawon, that's the term. Sawon is the lowest rank. No, intern is the lowest. I'm higher, a bit higher. I'm a staff. That was the thing. I am a staff. Yet, I'm being sent abroad, international business trips, because of my ability to speak Korean and a little, ano, my ability to speak a little Korean and more English, because I've been using English since I'm a Filipino. It's something in me. There was the case. However, there are things that happened in 2026 that changed not just my job but also my company. There was an incident in the association that we had to be audited, so that's already public information. What happened was I turned 2 years in the company, but I had no idea about any promotions. Because I mean, if you're gonna be going to a company, first year, sure, you are learning. Second year, sure, you are mastering. But on the third year of working in a company, you should be aiming for promotions. You should be aiming for the next one. You should be aiming for the next step. And that was actually I was contemplating about. What are the things I need to do in order to get to the next level? I've been very vocal about this when it comes to meetings and such with my managers. So they are aware I'm really aiming for an upgrade. In South Korea, that's a taboo discussion. They don't really discuss about promotions. That's a thing that you rarely discuss, including salary. Those are the things that you don't discuss with your workmates. But That is something I am really open into strategizing. That's why if you go to my laptop, you'll be able to see I have an Excel sheet there of all my accomplishments year by year, 2024, 2025, 2026, because in my mind, in order for me to justify an upgrade from my current position, it's imperative that I can prove my worth. I prove my point. And recency bias, if you don't have any good activities in the recent time, they won't be able to remember you. However, in terms of my checklist, I always want to make sure that I have a list of what I have accomplished as evidence. This is a very good practice, especially if those of you are starting their work, thinking of what to do in the future, or already seasoned and aiming for an upgrade. This is very important. You need to document your accomplishments. Make an Excel file, something that you can easily pull up, especially if there are appraisals or you're up for promotion. This is very important. So I had my accomplishment tracker, I had my accomplishment reports. The problem now is, since I am a foreigner, they cannot convert me to a full-time regular employee because my company is quite small. Second, um, the employee handbook, there's a clear stipulation there that it doesn't apply to foreigners, which is very weird. So that was something I was thinking, if this company handbook does not apply for me, therefore the stipulations in the handbook will not apply for me. Like how the promotion works, how the salary adjustment works, the appraisal process works. That placed me in a limbo that where should I position myself? There's no governing policy for my promotion and such. So this year, that has been the thing that I've been thinking on top of making sure they know my accomplishments. Those are the things I've been thinking about for this year. Therefore, I was quite. Actually, I don't want to resign just because of that. But as a person I turned 30 this year. And I was thinking about it. Like, Justin, you already had your master's degree. You have been working for almost like 7 years. And my rank now is still staff. I'm still a staff. And probably it's a pride thing or something like that. But I was thinking in my mind, like, I think I deserved more than this staff position. So I worked hard in the first half of this year. Like, I even received the news that our center, where I currently operate for the standards development, actually ranked one within our association. So I was like, we ranked one, but there was nothing. Like, what was the purpose of being ranked one if it's like nothing? That's why when I was contemplating, especially for this month, when August came in, I am very critical when it comes to what will happen for my future in South Korea and my career in South Korea, because I'll be ending my visa next year, April. If I don't have any job by January 2027, I won't be able to renew my residency visa. So I took a risk of resigning even if I don't have any backup plans. Well, my resignation hasn't been accepted yet, so but I'm not sure if they have to accept it or not. But that's the case. Thinking about it, I don't have any plans. But there is this feeling that I feel happier and lighter in a sense. Like, I'm not sure how it works, but that's what I feel. Like, I feel like after I mentioned to my manager, to my directors, I'll be ending this month until August 31, but I'll be able to go to work until August 20 because I have vacation leaves. I am happy with the opportunity. I'm thankful for all your help, but this is all the thing I can offer. They immediately told me, like, is there any work around? Is there, like, what are the reasons why you decided to leave the company? Is there anything that we can do to change it? And there are I have only a few stipulations, to be honest. I mean, our center needs attention. Our center needs promotion. And if you can provide that, I would happily think about the opportunity of not quitting and just continue my work. Because fourth quarter is the hardest quarter for the year, especially for us in our association, because accomplishments have to be accomplished, and the deadlines are usually December. Currently in my association, there's a handful of those who can speak English. I'm the best in speaking English because I'm a foreigner. The next to me is conversational English. But like that's the case. That's the scenario in the association. They badly need an English speaking individual. However, I'm leaving. So if you're interested applying, just kidding. So that's the case. So on Monday, we'll be having a mini discussion and probably trying to resolve the issue. But currently, I'm on the 90-10 ratio of leaving and not leaving. Like 90% of my in my mind I want to leave, 10% is like the opportunity or option of staying until December, which my contract expires. But the problem is of doing that. My problem of doing that is e- given the knowledge that I will be ending my contract on December, my I feel like they will be overusing me again, like putting me in a lot of things, like putting everything to me before December, so that I can milk all the things that I can accomplish before I leave. I have that one thought. Second is, well, technically, the 10% is also an opportunity for that. They would do something in order to change the status quo and then make it more appealing for employees to stay. Because that has been the problem in Korean organizations and companies, based on my experience and my colleagues and my friends' experience. Yes, they accept foreigners, but they have this notion of foreigners staying for a short period of time, which is half true, which is not our fault. The visa makes us stay shorter because my visa, even if I graduated masters in South Korea, can only stay here for the first 3 years for in my career, and then the after that I have to renew it constantly. But regardless, that is the story of why I'm resigning from my work. To be honest, it's not really my job is not that difficult. I am managing it. I have my supervisor and some of my friends in the company that really are helping me in terms of maintaining it. It's just that I cannot accept the fact that I've been in the company for almost 3 years, but career for me is very important. I need career progression. Probably I have some mistakes that I am not really speaking up during presentations, or I'm not speaking up during team huddles. The problem is I don't speak Korean very well. So it sounds like it's unfair for them to feel like I'm abandoning them or something like that. I have that feeling in my mind, but to be honest, quitting, especially now, gave me a liberating feeling. So I am happy. I am I'm deciding to stay in South Korea until my visa expiration, or if I'll be able to find a job, that's another story. But that's the update. If you want to know more about this story, I'll share more contents moving forward, especially on Monday after our meeting. But for now,